Hello? Aha, there we go. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Is anybody here? I don't know. It doesn't look like anybody's here yet. Oh, I can hear myself now. So that's good. I guess it's working. All right. So, looks like that's going. I'm gonna turn that on up here. Go all the way to the live. All right. So, give it a couple more minutes here for this to go. And welcome. Welcome, whoever can make it to the second one. We had some good conversation in the first one earlier today, so that was cool. And this might be a bad time for a lot of other people, but I tried to spread it out so that as many people could come as possible. So depending on the time and depending on where you are in the world, then you have options. Okay, so it doesn't look like, let's refresh here. Just make sure that I have, okay, that's not what I want. Okay, looks like it's actually, yep, looks like it's good. Okay, turn this off so that we can get some real-time feedback here. Okay, got my stream going, got the bubble head here. So in the first video, we talked about, let me just get my list actually here. So we have, I have a list of, go to my live streams. Video editing launch, post. Okay. So we have, so in part one, this is what we did. We had set up Blender for video editing workflow. And that's what we did. We imported our footage. We talked about a little bit about frames per second, just that Blender will automatically detect frames per second unless you have more than one video with multiple frames per second, which I've made a video on before. We talked about how to create a proxy and then how to show the cache so that you can see what part of your video has been cached in. This is good for like if you're dealing with cuts and scrubbing over those cuts, as well as like refresh. And then we talked a lot about audio video strip mechanics. And then we started the cut, but not really. There was just a whole bunch of stuff that we were going over, and I actually ended up answering quite a few questions. So it doesn't look like there's a lot of people waiting for this particular time frame. In the States, it's Friday night, and I know outside of the States, everybody's sleeping because it's the middle of the night. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start. So we're going to start editing. I'll just kind of show you a roadmap of what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do our cuts. This is going to be my cutting workflow. So this is before I add any sort of audio or media or anything extra. This is just, we're going to cut out all the spaces, all the ums and ahs. Well, not all of the ums, but a lot of them. And then maybe even speed up some footage so that we can see stuff happen. We don't have to see stuff happening in real time because there's a big chunk of stuff you can see right here. A big chunk of stuff that I was working on trying to figure something out. So yeah, but before we do that, head on over to blenderfrenzy.com if you want to support me and become a member today. I know. Everybody does memberships now. Membership does support me here, so do this. I get it, and I also get if you don't want to become another member of something. But what I've done is I've created my own little Patreon site similar to Patreon, and if you scroll down, you can see all the posts that I've put. Now, right now, a lot of this is just from my Frenzy freebies stuff and the stuff that's on the on YouTube. But there are a few more extra stuff right now. But I actually have, yeah, some portal videos here. So, for example, Ring of Fire. There we go. This is a free video that you can watch right now. And if you click on the more, you can see, oh, there's a spot where you can download some files. If you are a Frenzy freebies. Now, some of you are part of my Frenzy freebies on Gumroad, and that's not going anywhere, but it's also not going to be updated. So if you're part of the Gumroad, like support that I've gotten, or if you're part of the Frenzy freebies on Gumroad, then that'll still be there for you to access. But any new stuff going forward will be posted here, and you'll be able to download it from the posts on blenderfrenzy.com. So let me just show you here before I show you the memberships. You can actually filter through these posts. So for example, if you're only here for the freebies, you can click on freebies, and it says select all that apply, and then click the apply button. So you actually have to click this little apply button here, and then it will filter just the ones that are for the Frenzy freebie, so you don't have to scroll through a lot of posts that you don't have access to. And then, of course, if you open this up, you can see the contents, a little bit more of the content, and then you can download the files. Now, let's go to the sign up page. So if you come up here, you can go to sign up. And here are the 3 tiers. So Frenzy freebies, of course, these are just free downloads, free to follow along with my free YouTube tutorials. So for example, if I'm teaching you how to do a freeze frame, and I have video footage of me jumping up in the air, I give you the footage so that you don't have to go searching for it or make your own footage in order to get started. So I give you the footage, any pictures or audio that I might be using for my free stuff, then I provide that to you. Now, that's not every single video, but it is a lot of them, so it's free. Just click sign up, you can get there for free. Frenzy Plus, you will get that plus everything, members only tutorials and early access to the YouTube tutorials. So the tutorials that come out, the Frenzy Plus will be able to see them first, and they will have members only tutorials such as the rest of the so here, this is for free. You can download these for free with free freebies. You get the Ring of Fire, where you can put a portal on any surface. Just a material shows you how to open up and close a portal, and that is for free. But I'm going to have a whole series of portal videos, so all of these are going to be locked for the Plus membership. So let's go back here, and then we can go to Frenzy Pro, which has access to everything on the site. Plus the VSE video workflows. So similar to what I'm doing now, I will be editing videos and giving quick tips and stuff on how I do my editing process, and you can watch those, how I edit my upcoming tutorials. Not every tutorial, but a lot of them. And then assets and project files, so blend files, motion graphics, anything that I create, you'll be able to download, or I shouldn't say anything, but most things that I create, you'll be able to download. I plan on banking up a whole bunch of good packs of stuff, packs of transitions, packs of lower thirds, packs of intro titles, things like that. So you can download those. And then, of course, the members only question and answer live stream, where you go to your members area. And actually, let me show you. I will go to my members area. Let's do Justin here and make sure I remember my password. But this will be taken, you take to your members area, and then you'll get your dashboard. You can see your profile, your subscriptions, and everything. But then you have this live stream, and this is where all the live stream for the Frenzy Pro is. Now I'm signed up for the Frenzy freebies myself here, so I don't have access to this. But if you upgrade, and you will be able to just go here and see any live streams that I have, and then we can, talk with each other. But this just went live today. This is what I've been working on for a while, and this is why I've been MIA for a long time. But I'm glad to be back. It's all done now, and the website is up. And aside from maintenance, hopefully that will be something that will be useful going forward. But I'm super excited to get back into actually doing Blender stuff and making cool stuff with Blender. I got a lot planned and a lot along the way. So here is the next tutorial for the portal ring, or what I think what this is going to be the embers. So I made the portal and then the inside fire and then made it disappear, and then also these flames that come out. And now we're going to do the embers. So in the first video earlier today, I did a live stream at 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So calculate that for whatever you are in the world, but that's up. You can go and watch that. We went over a lot of strip mechanics and stuff there. So I'm not going to go over all that again, but I'm just going to start editing, and I'm going to show you kind of how I do my cutting process. Let me make sure we have our scrubbing on. So if you come down here to playback, you can make sure to sync to audio is on, and then audio scrubbing right here. That is going to help you a lot as far as like scrubbing through, and you can hear that. Hopefully you can. Let me make sure that's on. Okay, I think that's good now. Let me also, I'm going to unmute this to make sure that
you can make sure to sync to audio.
I'm just make sure that I can hear the audio.
Right here.
I don't have a lot of feedback.
A lot as far as like scrubbing through, and
we had some good conversations earlier. I tried to do the live stream or the
I think that's
the chat. Okay, yeah, I did.
Also,
okay, I can mute myself now. I tried to do the live stream like replay, the live replay, but at least when I checked it on my phone, it didn't work. So I don't know if that's working. But I did want the live chat replay. I hope that's up and running. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting. Let's make sure I'm using Blender, the key map here. I'm doing a really fast cut. Let's just do Blender so that you can kind of see. I've made my own cuts, my shortcut keys, and actually if I come over here and if I filter this by freebies and then video editing, and then I click apply, I can come down here and see, here we go. So your VSE fast cut key map and cheat sheet. This is, you can download this cheat sheet if you have the Frenzy freebies. And basically it shows you all the shortcut keys that I used, and it should show you, I also have a video, okay, quick video editing shortcuts. Oh yeah. How to make your own shortcuts here. So yeah, but for now I will use the Blender default so that you can follow along. Again, if you hover your mouse on either side of the timeline cursor, so here's the timeline cursor, and if I hover over here and make sure these are selected, so you make sure both of these, the video and the audio, is selected, I hover my mouse on the side that I want to be selected after the cut, and I press K, and then these are selected. Now I can just press X to delete those. Now you see these coming off here. These are the offsets. So the content is still here. There's a difference between content and containers, and we talked about that last time, but just real quick, if I select both of these and press S, I can slide this content back and forth within the strip containers. So you see the strip containers aren't going anywhere, but the content is. I'm just going to right click to cancel that. So that is what that is. Those are annoying to me, so I'm going to turn off the offsets. Here are your overlays for the video sequence editor. So we're just going to go to the drop down here and click offsets, and then we're going to get rid of those on the display. I also have already created a proxy at 25%, so let me just turn that to 25% here. And now I am ready to start. So basically I'm just going to listen to this. Okay, and so this is what we had last time. I am really, really pleased with this. And I will cut in and out. Let me just maybe turn this down just a little bit more. Basically, I will be cutting the stuff out that I don't want. So the pauses and the maybe some ums. But what I've done here, I do claps. So if I take these and I pull these back, you can see
3, 2, 1.
I do claps so I can know where I need to cut. And you can also see by the dead air. I'm just going to cut all of this out. So that's what I did basically. So moving this here and then pressing S. Oh, no, not S. Shift S. I can snap the handles. So you can select the handles by selecting and shift selecting, or if you press Control, you can select both of them. So if I have both of them selected and then I press play.
Okay, and so this is what we had last time. I am really, really pleased with this. This is the best one that I've had of all my practices. This is the best outcome, and it couldn't come at a better time than the tutorial, which look at that waviness there.
And if you couldn't tell, my my favorite video game ever is Portal. So that is the best video game in the world.
What we're going to do
in my opinion
is add some embers here. And to do that, let's again select our new extra fire portal.
Okay, so I did this earlier, but I kind of I got rid of it. So basically I'm just going to cut here. And since I already have these two handles selected, and you know, I keep cutting in and out. So I gotta stop this because this advanced scene switcher is driving me nuts here. Is that okay? See, it's doing it too much. Yeah. So you know what? I think I know how to fix this. Here, let me display settings. We're gonna make this one my main display. That's what I had last time. Is that gonna work better? That is gonna work better. Okay. All right. I didn't like that last time because then, you know, you can see all my Control or Alt tab changes of the screens that come up, and yeah, I don't know, it's just a little clunky, and I am clunky with all of these these live streams. So all right, let's keep going here. So this gap I don't mind so much because I'm showing this this fire here, but here I say
select
our. So here again I select, and then I'm gonna cut, and is that right? Yes. So with these two handles selected, if I go to where I want to cut and then hover my mouse on the ones I want selected, which are on the right of the timeline cursor, hover my mouse over here, press K to cut, and now you can see these are still selected. So then what I do is I bring my mouse or the cursor right over to where I want it to come back in, and then Shift S to snap. And then I back up the cursor, press backspace to clear that gap, and then we can play
our new extra fire portal ring.
That way, because I have ADD, so when I start talking, sometimes I just completely, like, I don't know, something else will pop into my mind, or I just forget the words that I'm going to say next, and yeah. So that's
our 3D portal ring here, and go into local mode by pressing.
That's why I have to edit a lot.
The / mode by pressing.
So same thing here. So I was like,
and go into local mode by pressing.
I just forgot what the key was.
The / key.
Pressing the / key. So I'm just going to cut it here. Okay. And move my cursor. Shift S. and then come back here and backspace. Now I changed all of these keys. This is not the, if you're using the Blender default keys, this is very inefficient as far as where the keys are. That's why I use the hotkeys normally. The ones that I made, so that I only have to use my left hand to well, I guess I do only still use my left hand, but I only have to use one side of the keyboard instead of having my hand go all over the keyboard to do those cuts. So
slash key. And we're going to add under our wave
okay, same thing.
Another modifier.
So another modifier. It's too much of a gap there. So we're gonna do that and close that.
Another modifier. This is in our modifiers tab.
And I'm kind of basically I'm just going based off of the waveforms, so I can watch the waveforms here, and they are super helpful. Again, if you don't know how to get those waveforms on, go to your overlays, waveform display, and turn those on. From there, you can also do it just based on the strip option. If you only want one or only certain waveforms to displayed, you can choose the option from here to use strip option, and then with your audio selected, press N on the keyboard. And I'm going to close this here so you can see my screencast keys there. And that looks weird. My screencast keys are doing something weird. Let me disable them and re-enable them again. All right, nope, they are still being weird. All right, well, I think you can kind of still see that, right? Can we just move these and then here and then and do. Weird. All right. Well, whatever. Gotta love technology. Okay, so display waveform. So you can click that, and now only one of them, only the one that I selected was displayed. Okay, but I don't like that. I like to have all of them, so we're going to check that on, and let's do some more cuts. So basically I'm watching the waveforms, but I'm also watching like the video to see if it matches up, and when I'm recording I pause sometimes so that the video doesn't jump too much. It's not perfect. You can't always catch that, but that's what I tried to do. So, all right, so I know that over here, Shift S to snap and backspace.
Tab, a particle system. Modifiers tab, a particle system. This is in our modifiers tab, a particle system. And now it says the settings are in the another modifier. This is in our modifiers tab, a particle system.
Okay, so now that I am going on a little bit more, I don't think I want to even have any of this here. I think that was my intention. So I'm going to delete this, and we're going to put these together. Let's cut this out here.
A particle system. And now it says
the
setting
there you go. So
under our wave, a particle system.
Yeah.
And now it says the settings are in the particle tab, which is right below it here. So on a different tab, which is weird.
Okay, and then I pause for a long time. So we're going to go here and cut that right here. And if I press the wrong buttons, it's because I'm used to my own shortcut keys. I'm trying to use Blender default right now, so
which is weird. And I'm going to go ahead and pause the tab, which is weird. And I'm going to go ahead and pause this here for now.
So this is something that I was talking about earlier. Well, I didn't go into detail, but to know whether to cut breaths and things like that, I think that's a mark of a good editor. Again, I'm self-taught, so I have no formal training on video editing. I do try to make everything look as professional as possible, But so for example, right here, so I have, this is me breathing in, and so I don't actually think it sounds that bad here.
Weird. And I'm going to go ahead and...
It kind of sounds natural. So if it sounds natural, then it could be something you want to leave in. But let's just show, I'll show you what it looks like without that. Let's see.
And I'm going to go ahead and just weird. And I'm going to go ahead and pause.
See, that actually maybe even a little bit better. Now, so we have our audio lined up how we want. I'm just going to take these two, and I'm just going to move them over just so that we get...
And I'm going to go ahead and...
we don't get any like popping, because if I start it like in the middle, if I cut this off right in the middle of the waveform, or the wave,
and I'm going to go ahead,
you can kind of see it's like really abrupt, and sometimes you have that like popping, like I'm gonna. So what I'm gonna do,
and I'm going to...
is
and I'm...
take these two, and then we'll slide these here, and then you can see my videos, or my bubble head is kind of fading out right there. What I'm gonna do, speaking of bubble head, make sure I'm also in my bubble head here. Head bubble, bubble head, whatever. Before it starts to go out, I'm just gonna take the video, and then I will snap these here. And you don't have to, so you don't actually have to have the audio and the video cuts at the same exact spot. In fact, that is very common in video editing. You have the L cut. I think it's called the L cut, and is it the F cut? So the opposite. So this looks like an F. This looks like an L. You know the shape here. This is your L shape. So let's put this here.
Weird. And I'm gonna weird. And I'm gonna go ahead.
And that jumps a little bit, but I don't care.
And I'm gonna go ahead
and move on. You can be as nitpicky as you want.
Pause this here for now. Let's find a good spot here to move our... oh, we've already got our particles started. Hold on a second. Let's just hide those for now. I want to find a good spot for these waves so that they don't look too weird while we're messing with this. Okay, particle system. There we go. Okay, if we press play, I guess we need to press... idiot. Okay, I'm not even gonna mess with that. Let's...
so I just call myself an idiot, because sometimes I am. Now the question is, am I actually... do I want to keep that in? I might have actually said that on purpose to keep that in.
I guess we need to press... idiot. Okay, I'm not even gonna mess with that. Let's cut that out, Justin.
Oh nope. See, Sarah says cut that out. So, what is it that I'm saying?
If we press play, I guess we need to press... messing with this. Okay, particle system. There we go. Okay, if we press play, I guess we need... cut that out, Justin.
So I
cut it out.
You're going to see a lot of probably really embarrassing stuff, because this is raw footage. I did actually scrub through this footage earlier today, just to make sure that I didn't accidentally say something that was like too outlandish. I live right by a train track, and a lot of times when I'm recording, the trains will blow their horns like, and you might even hear it during this live stream, but the trains will blow their horns right when I'm like in the middle of explaining something really important. And I may or may not say a few choice words when that happens, and so I just wanted to make sure that I didn't actually have that included in the raw footage necessarily. But I didn't find anything, but I also didn't find this, because I was just kind of really quickly scrubbing over it. But, so I'm going to cut this out. Let's see where I need to start at. Let's go back to here.
Okay, now if we press play, you can...
okay, so where I say now we press play.
I guess we need to press... if we press play, we're messing with this. Okay, particle system saves so that they don't look too weird while we're messing with this. Okay, particle system. There we go. Okay. If we
Okay, right here. So this is right before I press play. I think this is where I wanted to make the cut. So we'll cut that here and then
let's go
find.
back to here. Okay, now if we press play.
Okay. So I think that's going to be good. So we're going to cut all of this out. And
go. Okay. Okay. Now if we press play, you can see. Now if we.
So I'm just going to start at now if we press play. I'm not entirely sure if this is right.
Okay. Now if we press play, you can see.
Okay, that's better. I like that. And sorry, my nose is really itching now. And I may have to take a break here in a second to blow my nose. I hope no boogers are coming out right now.
Whoa!
Raw and uncut
particles just fallen from our
footage.
emitter, which is this thing here. Oh, and it's done. And then once it starts over, which is after 10,000 frames. So let's just make our end frame here 10,000.
Okay, so I want to cut out some of this.
Once it starts over, and it's done. And then once it starts over,
okay, right here, I'm just gonna make a cut. Jump to
which
here.
is after 10,000. Which is after.
Let's see what that looks like here. Ooh, not duplicate. I'm not used to all of these shortcut keys. Blender default shortcut keys.
Which is after 10,000 frames. So let's just make our end frame here 10,000 to match, so that it's just going to keep going. And that also, I guess, affects the number that we see here. So let's actually just do, I don't know, 1,000, and then bring this to 1,000 here. And then I think this number here is 1,000 lifetime. So if we give this a shorter time, then all of them are going to come out at once. So if this is only 10 frames, yeah, all 1,000 come out all at once every 10 frames. Let's bring this up. I'm actually going to collapse this here. We don't need the shader stuff right now, and I'm going to collapse one more time into the dope sheet. We don't need that either. Just bring this up so we have our timeline here. And oh, let's just pause that. It's giving me, there we go. Okay, so there we go. There we go. Cut this out here. I keep hitting the wrong button. Okay. There we go. Okay, so yeah, let's do, I don't know. What do we think? And right now, yeah, this might be a little tedious, but there's, as we go along, you'll see, hopefully we'll get to some little nuggets of good information. We'll test it with 500. But I just want you to
I just want to show you my whole workflow.
End frame 500, and then let's do 5,000 here at the beginning. Okay. All right. That's good for now. As you can see, here's our emission and the number. Okay. All right. That's good for now.
Okay. Right here, I think after I breathe, I think I'm going to keep my breath in here. And then cut that and move this here.
As you can see, here's our...
That's too much though. So we're going to take these two and move those in.
As you can see here. As you can see, here's our emission and the number, and seed is how many, seed is the different places it starts. Just start.
Okay, see, so I a couple false starts here.
Seed is just.
Let's see where I want to cut.
The different places it starts. Just start. Seed is just.
Okay, so this is good. I want to keep this here. Seed is just a couple false starts, and then I will put this over here. That
is just the different places it starts. Just starts in random order. We don't really need that.
Okay, here's another thing. What I can do here. I said there, so I can take that out. That's another nice thing about editing. So I can take out my ums if I wanted to.
Order, we don't really need that. Frame start is 1. Lifetime is 50. I'm going to change the life.
So I didn't cut any of this out. So I'm not only going based off of the waveform. You can see here, if I was just only going based off the waveform, I'd cut this out. But I'm also watching the flow of the tutorial. So I'm making this tutorial, and sometimes, you know, what I'm doing on the screen matters.
Time
so,
is 50.
Or a lot of times what I'm doing on the screen matters.
Change
probably about 98% of the time.
Lifetime to 200. And then lifetime.
Okay, so that is, so you see how I'm, there's no way for, or there's no, I mean, there's a dead air, and I'm not doing anything on the screen. So this is a perfect example of why I would cut something out, or where I would cut something out. And cut. And backspace. All right, I gotta blow my nose up here right back. Don't want to have booger face while even though I might still already. Welcome to the live stream. Okay, so
and
keep
then
going.
Lifetime randomness, just bump that up to 1. The source, I'm going to keep everything the same here. So this is, and then lifetime randomness, just bump that up to 1. The source, I'm going to keep everything the same here. So this is all good, just the defaults. I'm going to skip cache for now. So as you can see, I'm just listening to what I'm saying, and I'm watching it, and I'm just like moving the timeline as source, I'm going to keep
the playhead it moves. One thing you can do is, if you come to playback, you can click follow current frame. And if I just press play, then
this is all
I just can let it go.
Just the defaults. I'm going to skip cache for now, go to velocity.
And once it reaches the end, it'll jump by itself. And then I don't have to necessarily, you know, move this around. I like that sometimes. Right now I'm going to turn it off because I just kind of like having the finesse and control. I zoom in and out a lot, so it's not really all that helpful for me, but it's an option for you if you want to use that. Okay, so
go to velocity.
And
I'm actually going to skip this also for now and come down here to viewport display, and we're going to display this as circle.
So what do I want to cut out here?
Just the defaults. I'm going to skip cache for now, go to velocity. I'm actually going to skip the.
Okay, so I'm not going to cut any of that out then. I think I want to keep this in here. So we'll do this.
Velocity. I'm actually going to skip this also for now and come down here to for now and to viewport display, and but we see something that looks more like embers. So we're going to keep show emitter because if we we see some, we see something that looks more like ember.
So I'm going to control R. See, here's our cache down here. You can see this orange bar. I'm going to control R to refresh that. And again, I don't understand. I've created a proxy. I think I'm using the proxy. Yep, and it's 25%. I'm using the 25% here, but for some reason, Blender still has a tough time
We see some
with the cuts. So you see it's on the cut and then this jumps. This used to be the case if you didn't use the proxy, but I'm using a proxy and it's still doing it. So right now, in order to deal with that, I just scrub over it a little bit like this to close that so that it doesn't jump, so that I can make sure that that cut is
we see something
that it's okay, and I lined everything up properly there.
We see something we see
I don't know why that doesn't sound.
we see something
Yeah, it's okay.
that looks more like embers. So we're going to keep show emitter because if we uncheck that, then we're not going to see our fire. The
Save.
emitter is our fire.
I always forget to save and then it.
Now let's go all the way down to force field settings. Nope. Field weight. To field weights.
Okay. Nope. It's just telling you something wrong.
Force down to all the way down.
Okay, so all the way down.
To force field. Nope. Field weight.
Okay. I wonder if I can show you something here. Kind of a little trick that I do. It's not really all that necessary, and you wouldn't be able to necessarily see it there.
All the way down. Now all the way down to.
One thing you can do is if you right-click on a strip, it will show you. It will single out that channel, that strip, not just the channel, but the actual strip, and then it will only show you that. So let's just. I'm gonna hide this for a second. But if I scrub back and forth here, then it's not taking my cut into consideration. So I'm just looking for, I'm just basically taking, it's almost as if I took this handle and I extended it out. I'm just kind of looking at the rest of that footage. So that's also something you can do. It's not something that is all that apparent. And it's not going to really make a whole lot of difference in what we're doing right now. So I'm going to ignore that, but we'll come back to that because I'm sure that there'll be a place where I can show you a little trick as far as the videos go and how sometimes I have to finesse it in order to make it look like it blends better. So that'll be, we'll see if we run across something like that. So Alt-H to unhide those.
To field weights. And you can see we have a whole bunch of different, you can see we have a
and cut. Is there a way to pack video files? Hi, soy. By the way, soy collar. Is there a way to pack video files in, I think it's supposed to be in a blend file. Yes, I think. I've never done it though. I don't like doing that, but yeah, I think if you go up here, let's see, external data, pack resources. But I don't know. I don't know if it packs video files. I guess I could always try. Pack all used external files into this blend file. Yeah, we're going to try. Pack. How do I tell? Let me know how I check.
We have a whole bunch of different things that might affect our particles, like gravity. You can see we have a whole bunch of different things that might affect our particles, like gravity, force, magnetism, wind. We're going to turn the gravity all the way down for now. Go back to the beginning, and oh, I thought this was a 500. There we go, 500. There we go. All right. So the gravity, they're not falling down, but they are kind of just spitting out this way, and I'm not sure why, because this shouldn't be going that way. Let me just make sure that our face orientation
normals.
Is correct. So let's go here. Ah, it is not, and I don't know why this is. So we're just gonna go into tab into edit. We're just gonna
cut out all of this. So, yep, this is like I said, this part is just cutting out all the stuff that we don't want. Maybe right here, I'll show you how to do a speed control. So once we get to here, we'll shorten all of that and then kind of do a little time lapse. Maybe add some music to it. Sometimes I like doing that, but usually don't have enough time to find music. So
mode and select everything in Alt in, yeah, and we're gonna flip those normals. Select everything.
And do
Alt in, yeah, and we're gonna flip those normals because we want the outside, we want this side, the blue side, as the front.
Okay, so here's a good example of some false starts. So
we want the outside, we want this.
So we want, so I'm gonna say we want and cut here, and then
we want.
And this is the good thing with going to the playback, having the scrubbing on. Then I can know which waveform is, saying we want, and then say, okay, we want, and then right there, I'm going to cut that so that we merge these two together.
This side, we want this side, the blue side.
So it's almost, almost seamless there. What I might do is sometimes if you come up to the handles for the video, you can kind of move them on one side or the other to make it a little bit smoother.
We want this side.
Yeah, look at that. So you can see my mouse is actually in a better position.
We want this side, the blue side.
And a lot of people would, they won't know that exists or that you cut it there. Or they might know, but it's not as abrupt.
Front. And the red is the back side. So, yeah.
Here's a tip, kind of like just what I was saying. If you're doing a tutorial like this and your mouse is moving, that's the best time to do some sort of cut, because it hides it. So if you can do your cuts in motion, and also if you forget what you're going to say, or if if you have to pause for a second to think about something, don't move a whole lot yourself. Like if you're filming yourself, because then the less you move, then the more seamless it is on the other side. So it's kind of like the opposite. The screen is, it's better to have motion when you're cutting things with your mouse, and then with your face, it's better to be still. I guess, I don't know. It all depends, but.
And the red is the back side. So yeah, there we go. And now if we go here, you can see. And I have a hunch that now that we've done that, let's turn this off. Oh yeah, no, our fire is still the same. Okay, good. Good. I thought it might have switched the fire. But now we have a like a velocity going outwards, which we can pull down. I don't know if this wind is going to affect anything. It's not, because we don't actually have a wind force field in our scene here.
Forgot the word scene, or I forgot what I was going to say. So cut that here, cut, grab these, and then we're going to just place those here and cut
our scene here.
So this is a bit jumpy.
Scene here.
So I'm looking at where my mouse is. So look where my mouse is here, and then when I jump over, my mouse is now over here. So again, I'm going to just grab these and move these over here. Just maybe here. Okay, maybe a little bit further here.
Our scene here.
Oh, that's not too bad.
In our scene.
What if I bring them all the way over here?
In our scene here.
Oh, that's better.
Field in our scene here.
So there you go. So you can kind of see, I'm just looking at the mouse placement. This is just really persnickety. Nobody really care, but it just gives it a little bit more of a fluid feel, and in a sense more professional
in our scene here,
to do things like that.
What this is actually velocity. So we need to turn this velocity down. So I'm going to do 0.05 and see what happens there. There we go. So now the velocity really isn't anything there. Isn't anything there. There. All right, so that's cool there. And actually, I just realized something. We can use this velocity.
Okay, I'm just going to get rid of that. Oh, that's cool there. And we're just going to go right to this because it's just there.
Actually, I just realized something.
That's a lot better, a lot more clean.
Use this velocity instead of a wind, which I used in my practice. But we will use a force field. I mean, wind is a force field, but we're going to use a vortex force field. So add in a force field vortex in.
Okay, so let's see if I can demonstrate this here. Let's go to 100%. This is not necessary, but this is something that you can do to make it look like you know what you're doing. So, for example, so you see how I kind of go back and forth, up and down this list, looking for something. Okay, so we can make several cuts here. So I go down, I start to go down, but right before I go back up, I'm going to make a cut. So here's our first cut. And we're going to grab this one. And then, so I go back up. Okay, nope, not up there. It's going to go down. So here's about where I started before I went up. So I'm going to snap that there, and we're going to pull that right there. And then see how it looks like it. I don't even do that. I don't even go back up. I just keep going down. And then same thing here. So about right there, I'm going to make a cut. and then it goes slightly up, and then I start to go back down again, and okay, so now it looks like I know exactly what I'm doing.
In a force field vortex.
So I just go, oh, down, yep, force field. and so again, it depends on how much time you have and if you're even that concerned about that. A lot of people aren't, but more professional, if you're doing something that's professional for somebody else, could be a good thing to keep in mind. So let's cache that in and see what that actually looks like.
So add in a force field.
See, look at
vortex.
that. You would never know. You'd never know that we cut that.
We're going to rotate it on the X90, and there you can see what's happening there. They're all kind of spinning into the middle there. And if we come back here and bring this up, you can see that shows how that affects how far away from the portal that it goes. So yeah.
Okay, so here, because you don't see my face, I can do a little bit more. I can be a little bit more lenient with the audio and video lining up. So since I'm showing you something really important on the screen, I don't want to actually have a lot of cuts in the video, but I do have a lot of spaces here of me like thinking about what I'm going to say.
That shows how that affects how far away from the portal that it goes.
Okay, so that affects how far away from the portal that it goes. So
you can see that.
So after that, I'm going to cut this here. We'll just cut the audio. So I'm going to cut the audio, and then
that affects how far away.
All right, so I'm going to, this is where I say that. So I'm going to bring this, I'm going to cut that out, and then we'll include that in there. That effect, because I run the words together and it's harder to cut that out. So that effect. So we'll bring this over here, snap that there.
That affects how far away from the portal that it goes.
Okay, so and then I'm going to cut this here. It's always important to make your cut on your audio. If you're going to be sliding audio around and not the video, or vice versa, if they're going to be out of sync, you always want to make sure you have you know, the rest of your footage isn't affected by that. So I don't want to be sliding these around, because then the rest of the video is going to be out of sync. So I need to have something where I can slide this around and, you know, everything else is going to be, you know, in the same place. But what I can do here is just pull this back over here.
You can see that affects how far away from the portal that it goes. So yeah.
And then we'll do this and snap this here and there. Okay. So
portal that it goes.
So here's another, so I don't want to cut this. I'm going to keep all of this in here. But here's another really useful tip. And this is called room tone. So you can see it, there's no audio right here. It just completely cuts out. So let's move this here, because I don't want to keep move. There we go. I'm centered a little bit better. But anyway, it just cuts out. So I'm like, it's very noticeable.
Portal that it goes.
So it's like, so room tone, basically, one thing, since this is well, let's see, let's just shift D to duplicate this. So we have this here, and then I can press S to slide the content within here. And so what I'm doing is just pressing S to see if I can find a long stint or lots of dead air. Okay, that's almost long enough. But I know that there's some that was really a lot of dead air. Here we go. So a lot of dead air right here. And we'll just place that here.
That it goes.
Okay, and then I'm going to place this right up here, and we'll put this a little bit under that.
All that it goes.
Yeah. So
yeah, this is a really.
There you go. So now it just sounds like I stopped talking. It doesn't sound like there's a hard edit and a hard cut out where it's like there's no sound at all. And I know that this also is not probably that particularly big of a deal in a tutorial, but when you're editing video, you know, for anything else, and you know, room tone is a definitely a helpful thing. But even with tutorials, when people are listening to it, it like subconsciously they're going to know something's wrong, like something happened, you know. But if you do something like this,
that it goes,
they're not going to. I mean, it's just going to be fluid, and that could be good so as to not distract them from what you're trying to show them.
So yeah, this is a really good start. This is actually, we're almost done. It's just that it's going a little too fast still. And that is with our vortex. So let's go to our vortex settings, which is this.
And let's see, we'll cut that.
Little physics.
Now this isn't too bad because right when I start talking here, I have already pressed pause. But what I can do is speed. Oh, no, that's going to look weird if I speed that up in this particular instance. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm not going to be too persnickety about this one. So we'll do this and that.
Which is this little physics properties thing here. And the strength, we're just going to put this down to 0.5 maybe.
Okay. And here.
Maybe. Yeah, that's all right. Maybe I'm gonna keep that at 1, or maybe let's do 1 for the inflow, so that pulls it in a little bit more. Well, maybe that's not. Let's.
Okay, so here's another thing. Now that I know, well, there's a lot of stuff over here too. You know what? I'm just gonna grab a big chunk. Now you can see these little. These are my mouse clicks here. So about between this one, well, let's just duplicate. I'm going to duplicate this down, and then we're going to cut this and delete that, and then oh, here's another little click of a mouse. That's plenty of room tone anyway. So we're going to cut this and we're going to delete that. So then here's going to be our like room tone kind of thing. Where we can grab and then we can just place that under any of the other room tones that we want, or any of the other gaps that we want. But I'm going to hide this for now because we don't want to actually hear it yet. But I'll just remember that this is here, hopefully, and then we'll drag that for other room tone stuff that we might need.
Pulls it in a little bit more.
And here, I don't want to cut that out.
Maybe that's not. Let's try 10. I don't know. Does that? That makes it go slower. I don't know. We'll keep that at 0, and we'll keep this at 1.
Okay, so it is the top of the hour. This time, I'll have to remember, is not very popular for live streaming. 7 o'clock on a Friday night. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea. But I'm going to keep going because the next live stream depends on that. And yeah, once we get here, I'll do a kind of a, what do you call it, a speed control. But since it's the top of the hour, if you are just tuning in, then let me make a quick plug for my new Blender Frenzy website. This is a new membership site where you can have access to a whole bunch of exclusive content, and you can support me at the same time. So if I actually just reset these filters here, you can see when you come to blenderfrenzy.com, you will see that you have, it's basically just a whole bunch of posts, and some of them are locked for different member levels, and it just acts like a patron site. It's kind of like Patreon. You can click here to read more. And then I am actually signed in on the freebies level. So you have these freebies download files that if you just click here, you can see, oh, look at that. We have download, we can click and download the freebie files for this Fireburn transition video, and which you can also just play. This is currently on my website and not listed on YouTube. So you can go here to watch that, and that's for free. You can watch the video for free, but if you want to download the files, you have to go to the Frenzy freebies. You have to sign up for a freebies account, and you can download that. If you want to support me, Frenzy Plus, $5 a month, members only tutorials, plus early access to all of the other ones. And you also get the Frenzy freebies. And then Frenzy Pro, $10 a month, the whole shebang. You get video editing, workflow videos, you get assets, project files, anything that I accumulate, whether they're blend files or transitions or whatever. I'm going to accumulate a whole bunch of those things, and you will have access to all of them and be able to download them. And members only question and answer live streams, where you can ask me a question and I will do my best to answer it, and no super chats, so you don't have to actually have a super chat to ask. Live stream hangouts, we'll just hang out and do Blender, kind of like what we're doing now. Don't worry, not everything is going to be like this. I'm not going to live stream all of my just regular editing. A lot of live streams I'm going to do are just me messing around with Blender and trying to figure out cool stuff and make cool things. So that is going to be exclusive for the Frenzy Pro members who want to just, support me and hang out. So back to editing. Okay, so let's continue cutting some of the stuff out that we don't want. Let me make sure we're saving our work here a little bit more. Do I want to cut there? Oh, maybe more. Okay, here's actually a good place for a transition. So I don't necessarily want to make a hard cut here, because here, I'll just show you what that's going to look like. You can see it just jumps, and I don't like that. But what we can do is, after we make that cut, we can take one of these, press G, and then I like doing 5, so I'm just gonna press 5. We can also try it with 10, just 5 frames there. So take these. So select this one first, and then shift select the one to the right, and then we are going to shift A to add, or you can come up here to add, and we're going to do a transition and cross, and then it just kind of fades in there. But that's a little too fast of a fade, so I'm going to take the beginning here, press G, and then -5, and then that is going to be 10 frames now. So let's refresh, and we got to cache this in because Blender does not like transitions as far as processing them. So that's even still too fast, maybe. So let's just take this, grab, and then 10. So we'll make this 20 frames. Gotta refresh that. Scrub this in a little bit here. You can also arrow over to scrub that, or get that cache scrubbed in there. Maybe. That's better. So you have a nice smooth transition.
Well,
It's just
maybe
easier on the eyes for the audience.
that's not. Let's try 10. I don't know. Does that makes it go slower? I don't know. We'll keep that at 0, and we'll keep this at 1 because we want that to go in quite a bit. But what we can do.
By the way, this is going to be on the Portal series on BlenderFrenzy.com. So here I don't know what I'm doing apparently.
Go back to our but we'll do. But what we can do. Go back is.
So okay, so we'll here say what we can do, and then is go back. So I'm gonna cut here. And, oops, nope, undo that. Whew. And we're gonna snap that here, and we're gonna cut that here, and then we're going to snap that here. Then we're gonna go back and press backspace twice.
But what we can do is go back to our fire, to the particles, go all the way down to vortex and pull this down and pull this down a little bit. Now that, okay, maybe that's not what we want either. All right, let's go back here. I was messing with this earlier and I was a little confused at how to set these. But if we do 0.7 here, see, that doesn't affect right here.
Okay, and I'm just gonna make a regular cut here.
Here, see, that doesn't affect. Okay, 0.1.
So sometimes it's I don't know exactly what to include and what to cut out, because sometimes making mistakes is helpful for other people because then they see, you know, your work, how you work through that, and it gives them, it just helps with the education process. But sometimes it's like you don't want to see people making a whole bunch of mistakes, so it's always a tough call to whether or not to you know, include those in there or not. I don't know. Case by case basis, I guess.
Okay, 0.1. Okay, strength 0.1. Maybe 0.5 here to slow that down. Does that slow it down? Oh, you know what? I'm doing the wrong thing. Oh, I like that here though. This is good. So 1 and then 0.5. I like that. It's going too fast, but I think that has to do with the velocity. So we're just going to go back here to our velocity and we'll just pull this down a little bit more. And maybe the object velocity. Let's see what this does here. So let's go back.
Okay, so we're almost at the place where we are going to do the speed control.
Going too fast.
And you know,
0.05.
different personalities like different things. You know, so some people can watch us and be like, they love to watch the whole process.
So that
they don't want to cut anything out. But some people just want, you know, just get to the point and can't please everybody.
So it's got to be with this.
Okay, so this is where we cut this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out where I want to start that cut
a little bit more. And maybe the object, see what this, it's still going too fast.
Okay, so I think right here, I don't think I need any of this. So I'm going to make this cut here, and then you can see all of this here before I come back in here.
Okay, so you know what? We're
cut here. I'm going to listen to what I say because sometimes I give myself cues, be like, hey, Justin, do this or do that, cut this out, cut that out.
Okay,
So,
so you know what? I don't think I like the initial velocity. The initial velocity that comes out from the emitter.
okay, that's not me talking to myself. But this is just I'll show you how to do the speed control here for now. This will be good. So I'm going to I'm not going to delete the audio just because I don't like deleting things in case I need to use them later, or just as much of a non-destructive workflow as possible. So for now, I'm just going to hide it, and then for this, I'm not. However, if you watched the live stream, the first live stream that I did earlier today, you know that there's a difference between the content and the container. And I'll just go real quick over that again, just as a bird's eye view. If I drag this up here and I turn on the offsets over here, you can see here's the content. And the container is the strip itself. So the strip that you see with the handles is just a container for the video. The whole video starts here and goes all the way and ends here. And all of these cuts create duplicated videos. So these are all the same video. It's just that the container is resized to a different spot on that content, that video. And this is super important to know. So if I do add in a speed control, this speed control is going to calculate the entire content. So it's the if you're trying to do a slow motion or fast motion, you know, whatever the case may be, you're going to get really weird results because you're going to think, well, how come it's not going slow enough, or how come it's not going fast enough? It's because if I click and I drag this in here like this to make this shorter, it's still calculating the whole thing. It's not calculating just this cut that you've made. So I'm going to undo that. So instead, I'm going to delete that. What you want to do is you want to select whichever piece that you want the speed control on and press Control G, and then that will put it inside a meta strip, which is just basically like another container. So if I select my meta strip and press Tab, I can go into Tab or into the meta strip. So now we're inside the meta strip, and now you can see what we've put in there. I can also tab out. So tab goes back and forth between or inside and outside of meta strips. The important thing about this is, do you see that there are no offsets here? And in fact, if I click and I drag this out, you can see here's the end of the content right here. And nothing exists over here and nothing exists over here. So you can see the content. And if I press S to slide, you can see I'm sliding the content inside the container. But the important thing about this is that the container itself matches the cut that we made, the strip container, which will then tell the speed control to calculate correctly. So to clear these offsets here and just get back to to match the handles or to match the container to the content, you select this and you press Alt-O, and Alt-O clears any offsets. So now when we press Shift-A to add in a speed control on this one, this is going to calculate only from here to here in our on the strip that we selected. So now what we can do, let me also show you. Let's select the speed control, press N, and let's go up to the strip tab here. The effects strip here, it says speed control. The mode is stretch. You can actually change these. I love to keep it on stretch because it does exactly that. One more pro tip here. You can't shorten this by dragging it from the front handle. This isn't going to shorten anything. This isn't going to make anything go faster. See, it's still at normal speed here. So you have to click and drag from the end handle and you drag in. And now if I press play and watch this, you can see it goes really ridiculously fast. Okay, now I'll show you how to be accurate. So as far as, let's say you want it to last 3 seconds. We're just going to pick 3. So I'm going to come over to my properties and make sure, let's go to output settings. Okay, so my frame rate is 60 frames per second, which means that in order to create 3 seconds, I need 90 frames. So the easiest way to do this, and the most intuitive way, is to take this handle and press G and grab, and while I'm grabbing it, I'm going all the way to the beginning. I'm going to press and hold Control. I'm going to snap it basically all the way, so basically it's non-existent. And then it's still selected, so don't select anything else, but what I can do is press G again, and then type 90, enter. Now, this strip only lasts for 3 seconds. I think. Am I calculating that right? Let's see, 1. So 956, 957. Oh, I'm not. Why would that not be? Oh, 90 seconds. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. See? 90 seconds, a second and a half. Why was I was taking 30. I was taking 30 seconds and I was multiplying that by 3, or 30 frames and multiplying that by 3. Yeah, so 60 times 3 is 12, 18. Is that 18? 180? Is that right? Oh, actually, I don't even have to calculate. I'll show you this. This is actually something that we can do. There's 2 things I want to show you that have come up. These are cool. These are cool, really cool nuggets that you may not know. So the first one is to see how many seconds you are into from a certain point. So right now we can see our minutes and our seconds up here, 9:56. Okay, that's the standard way. But let's say, like, well, how long from, this cut? Where is this? How long is this cut? So let's just say, yeah, select this here. So we're just going to select this one, and it's going to calculate it from the beginning of this strip that we selected. We come down here to source, time, and we scroll down and we look at the current frame. You can see the current frame says 39. And that is, I believe, seconds. That's still going too fast. Yes. It doesn't show, like, I can scrub. Okay, so these are seconds. So this is milliseconds, I'm guessing, and these are seconds. So this means the timeline cursor is 38 seconds into whatever we have selected. So if I have all of these selected here, it's going to calculate from the first selection. So now this is, oh, sorry, it's not. I apologize. It's going to calculate from the active selection. Again, difference between active and selected. So I'm just going to click this, make this one active. Now you can see I haven't moved the timeline cursor, but it is now 54 seconds out. If I select this one, now this is 1 minute and 29 seconds. So this is a good way to know, like, how much a certain piece of your edit lasts. Man, when I found that out, that was super useful. All that to say is, what you can do is to see how long this particular thing is. Say you want this to be 3 seconds or whatever. You can come to the end here. And let's go to the end of this strip here. And since this is the active strip, it's going to calculate from the beginning of the active strip. You can see this is 1 minute and 30 seconds. Of course, 90 seconds or 90 frames at 60 frames per second is 1.5 minutes. So, but what I can do is, it's the same thing here, duration. So if you just have one, let's do 60. times, I don't know, 8. We'll do 8. So we'll make this 8 seconds. And then maybe we'll do, maybe that's too long. 60 times 5. We'll go in the middle there. I like that. That's fine. It's just that does go pretty fast. I also want to bring the audio for this over here. And just grab that handle and snap that there. Okay, so now we can close this gap, and now we have this fast. Some music here to put on that. If I remember where that was. Let's do pan pizza. Okay, let's do that. Why not? Just uh-oh, what did I do? Snap. There we go. Okay, so then we're gonna do that here, and we're just gonna make an abrupt cut here. Cut the rest of that audio out, and now we have going too fast. Okay, so you movement and motion here, and if you are just starting to use Blender as a video editor, just so you know, make sure to have this limit view to contents off, and then you can actually then go up higher. A lot of people were saying, how come I only have 8 channels? Well, you don't. You don't have any content up there. So, and this is usually checked by default, limit view to contents. So just uncheck that, and then you'll be able to move as far up and down as you need. Okay, moving on. From the emitter is I have 0.3. And in my initial one, I had like this really low. And if I just put 0 here, then it's not going to go outwards anywhere. It's just going to stay kind of right in the middle. And I don't want that. And by the way, they're not going to be this many embers. This is just so we can see the motion of it, but we won't be using this many. Unless you want to, of course. But this is all right. I want to have some coming out more over here. So what I did last time is I just added another force field and then wind. And you can see that once we have this going on, nothing happens. And that's because I had turned that wind all the way down on my emitter down here. No, it's up. Okay. Oh, it apparently just needed a refresh. So now it's blowing up, and then it's also turning in that vortex, making it have this shape effect. So let's just take this, rotate it on the X 90, and we're blowing it that way. And I'm just going to scale that down here. The scale doesn't really matter. That's just visual. But now we have a lot more of what I'm going for. This is like this cone-shaped thing kind of protruding outwards like this, but at the same time spinning. But we don't want it to go that far, so let's just go to our wind properties and just bring down the strength. Let's try 0.5. And there we have something. That's cool. That's cool. Flow, let's bring that down to 0.5 too. Start over. You're kind of getting a preview of a cool tutorial too.
Now. So still, that's way too far out. I just want it to kind of stop here. So strength 0.2.
Although it is a bit of inception here, so you see my head twice.
Let that die
well, I can do this.
See what that looks like. Yeah, that's starting to get there. Starting to get where I am wanting. Yeah, there we go. maybe bring this down to 0.2. We'll see what happens when we bring this down to 0.2.
Sometimes I actually have to watch my tutorials again.
Yeah, I like this motion a lot more.
To remember how I did something.
Maybe even 0.1. We'll see what happens there. Okay, let's see. So I don't want them going too far out. Yeah,
this
like
is actually
That's
quite
pretty
nice.
cool right there. Okay, cool. Good. Moving on. So let's save this.
Okay, so this is actually pretty nice. That's a nice stretch where I didn't have to cut any of that out. Oh, I'm going to turn off these offsets here. These are annoying. Okay, but I am going to cut this part here.
And let's go to our emitter.
So you see how long of a space between here? Let's go to space, our emitter. Yeah, let's we're gonna make let's first make a cut here and then make a cut here. Oh yeah, I meant to delete that. And then we'll bring this over here.
So let's save this. And let's go to our emitter again, our fire particle system here. The number, we can bring that down to, let's do 1,000. See what that looks like. It all depends. So all of these kind of play off each other. So the number versus the end frames, the number of frames. So if I did this, if I
cut that. This is where the scrubbing comes into
I did this,
be useful.
So if I did this,
let's just take these two.
I did this at 1,000 for the end frame, then you won't see as many to begin with.
I'm going to cut that out. Because I don't like that there. I say way too much. My whole life I can't
to begin with.
I can't ever
Even though
I've tried to change that, but it's just
we haven't
can't. I can edit it out, but can't stop saying it.
changed our end frame here, which we can with. Even though we haven't changed our end frame here, which we can, but this is the number lifetime, so it's going to span across a larger frame rate.
Okay, so see what I'm doing here? When I know, because I've been doing this for a while, when I lose my train of thought or am struggling for the next word, I will pause, and obviously I'll pause what I'm saying, but I mean I'll try to be as still as possible. You can see I kind of just stop here before I move because it helps with the cut. So just another pro tip here. So cut here and then
a larger
so you can see it's almost seamless. I mean, you can see a little bit of a jump, but it's definitely not all that noticeable, especially if my head is in a completely different, especially as opposed to my head being in a completely different position.
Span across a larger frame range, so it doesn't show all of them right away.
Okay, now we can hide my head again.
And that's still too much for me. I'm just going to do 500. See what that looks like. See how many embers that shows. Yeah, that's getting there. It's not too bad. We'll see. Not too bad. We'll see. We'll make our ember, and we'll judge it afterwards. Okay, so now we've got to make our ember. So let's add in a mesh icosphere, a mesh
Okay, so here's another place where I'm going to do that same trick again. So to make it look like I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to stop on the icosphere. So right there. I'm just going to cut on the video. And I'm trying to decide if I want to show a specific thing here or not. It might not be easy to show it right here. I'm just going to get rid of that, and then and actually, you know what? For now, I'm just going to bring this in, and I'm going to bring this in because I just want to butt these two things up, just the video. And then we'll make another cut here. Okay. So, you know what? I think I'm maybe making this too complicated. Yeah, I am. We're just gonna get rid of all of that and yeah. Although I might want to bring these out a little bit because we want to have all of this here. So let's just see what that looks like.
mesh icosphere.
Oh yeah, that's not too bad. There we go.
Mesh icosphere.
Ah, seamless. Well, I don't know what my head looks like, but it doesn't matter.
A mesh icosphere.
Yeah, it's fine. Looks fine.
And bring this down all the way down here. Let's go into, oh, so that was, we were still in local mode before. Down here, let's go into,
I keep pressing the wrong buttons. I've been editing with my own shortcut keys for so long.
So that was, we were still in, was,
but I'm doing the Blender defaults right now, which I have to constantly retrain my brain.
So now we're out into global mode. Let's, with our icosphere, go into local mode. There we go. And let's pull up another thing here. Let's go change this to shader editor.
So another thing here. Let's pretend like we know what we're doing. So we'll cut this here and do
shader editor.
Well, almost. We almost know what we're doing. It's okay.
New, make a new material. I'm going to call this portal ember orange. Actually, portal's redundant. Let's just ember orange and delete this and this and add in, delete this,
cut and snap and backspace
and delete this and add in an emission shader, plug that in. And with this and the node wrangler, you can press Control T to add these. I'm going to delete the image texture, and we got to add something in the middle here. And what was that I added? Here I look at some stuff and I clear my throat. Oh, good. So if we, let's close these. If we plug this in straight away, we got to add something in the middle here. Okay. Oh, no. There we go. And we got to add something in the middle here. So if we, let's close these. If we plug this in straight away, you can see our coordinate system here. Like we've seen before in previous videos, it's going based off the UV. I'm going to plug in the object here, and this is more of what it should look like here. Let's get, again, just like we did with the portal ring, we want to do a vector math look like here. And I'm just going to shave off some time by coming up here. Again, just like we did with here, just like we did with the portal ring, we want to do a vector math, plug that in, and change this to length. So it's going to get the length, and if we plug that in, the length has something to do with it calculating edges, I think, or points, and the distance between the center and of the polygon and the edges. I don't know. Well, you'll see here. So if we then add in a math node, just a regular math node, change this to subtract, and then you can start to see something happening here, but we need a color ramp to heighten the contrast. So let's add in a color ramp, and now we can pull these in, and you can see the contrast coming in here. And the closer we color ramp, and now we're here, and the closer we pull these together, you can see we start to have cheese. Something like that, which is what we want, because this is going to be an ember. So let's give this ember some color, which I wonder if I can I do it here? I might be able to do it here. Let's just try. So let's pull this up. Try. Try. Let's pull this up and pull this here. Ah. Nope. I know why we can't do it that way. It's because we are using this as a black and white mask for transparency. So we need all of these holes to be transparent and all of the white to show the color, which is going to be this one here. Let's add in a mix shader. Add in a okay. The color, which is going to be this one here. Let's okay. Here's a good place to go over this. So sometimes if you're doing false starts, or if you start to say something, you need to back up and you need to say something again. Kind of a cool way to merge two things together. Well, let me first say, cutting before or after the word is the best. But sometimes when you talk, you don't say the word each word separately. You run them all together. And depending on the sentence you're saying, sometimes you run different words together at different times. And so because of that, you have to do little tricks like this. So keep in mind that if you have to cut something in the middle of a word, or cut something in the middle of a run-on sound, consonants, cut it off at the consonants. So what I want to do here,
since I repeat let's
add in a mix shader.
Let's add in a mix shader. Technically, I would like to come back here and start at let's.
This one here,
but I'm running it together with here. So I hear let's, and if I cut it at that point, it's going to sound more abrupt. But if I cut it at the let's, that right there, no one's gonna know that I cut that. I mean, they might visually, but audio, it'll sound exactly the same. So this is where you're scrubbing. Again, playback and scrubbing, your audio scrubbing right here comes in handy. So right before I say the T or the S in the let's, so this let's is a quick silent part, I'm going to cut, and then we're going to come to the same exact place here. Let's, right before that S, and we're going to snap that there. And then
let's add in.
Hear that? See? Let's add in. It's just one smooth motion. Now we could probably tighten that up a little bit. Let's tighten that up. Or yeah, let's move this here.
Let's add in a.
Yeah, there we go.
This one here. Let's add in a mix shader.
See, you would never know by the sound that there was a cut there.
Plug that in, plug this into the bottom, and remember the factor.
Let's keep saving these.
Controls anything that is and remember the factor control bottom in. Of course, we're going to plug that in.
Okay, I just skipping ahead to see how many times I did that false start.
That is the factor, and remember the fact.
Okay, so I did it 3 times. So right before here, we're going to cut that and remember. Oops. And we'll put this
into the bottom, and remember the factor controls the.
And let's just scrub over here a little bit.
The bottom, and remember the factor control. And remember the factor controls the.
There's a big there's a. It's jumpy there, but again, I don't care really. The sound is more important than the video. You can still follow the video.
Here. Of course, we're going to use this for the factor. Plug that in, and now we can change our color.
Oh, hey, look at this. Another opportunity for me to speed it up. So just like we did before, let's come over here. And then I'm going to make a cut. And we're going to make a cut here. I'm going to hide the audio. I'm going to select the video, Control G to put it in a meta strip, Shift A to add an effect strip speed control. We're going to take both of these handles and we're just going to bring these all the way over here. And do we want, let's just type in G180. That'll be 3 seconds long. And then we'll close that gap and let's just see what that looks like. Oh yeah,
to something more ember.
I like that. Pretty good, pretty good. And I'm not going to add in. I'm not going to add in the music here because it's not that long. So I am going to unhide Alt H to unhide that sound so that we have that room tone.
To something more ember-like, and bump up the strength, and you can see that there. We can bring down the saturation a little bit here, bump up the strength a little bit more. We can also play with the location of the.
Okay, so I'm almost done with this video, and then I did actually stop this, and then I actually started recording again. So there is a few more things that I have to edit. I'm just going to edit that on my own before tomorrow, and we'll start to wrap I'll wrap this up here. I didn't get. We had a whole bunch of really good interaction earlier today. Not much. We had one question here uh, earlier, but yeah. So we'll stop this here. But again, blenderfrenzy.com if you want to support me. If you are haven't heard this yet, this is a website I just launched. It is a patron site basically. So it's a membership site. You can go and support me. There are 3 different tiers that have exclusive content for each of them. Frenzy freebies. If you're familiar with my Gumroad, this is going to be the continuation of that. The Gumroad will stay, but it won't be updated. So all the Frenzy freebies are all the same thing that's on Gumroad is on here now, and I will continue to update this here. But then you'll have member tutorials only for Plus, and then Pro basically get you everything, which will be a whole arsenal of stuff that I will be adding to. Right now, of course, because it's just starting up, it's scarce. But you know, you can always sign up for freebies and then upgrade later. It's pretty easy to upgrade. So if you want to just kind of dip your toes in the water and say, well, let's wait and see where this is going before I commit any money. But yeah, if you want to support me, that would be awesome. But I'm going to end this here. We were going to get into the adding the visuals, but we spent a little bit more time discussing the audio and video strip mechanics in the first video or in the first live stream. So, and then the cut, of course, this is the most boring part, but it's necessary, and you get those little nuggets of things, little tips and tricks here that you can do as you're cutting. So I hope that was helpful for those who did stick around to watch. But next time we will add the visuals. So basically we will take what we have here, and then we'll add our intro logo. I'm not going to show you how to make the intro logo, just as you know, full disclosure. That is something that I'll probably get into later on in another tutorial. But for now, I'll show you just how I add all the pieces of my intro and then my outro, and then we'll maybe add some text. We'll definitely add my little motion graphic thing, and I might go into a little bit of how I made these things. It's not going to be a full-fledged tutorial of how to make motion graphics. It's just going to be how to put together the motion graphics in your video into kind of a tight, professional-looking thing, and then we'll go over how to render all of that. So I'll finish editing this here, and because this is going on 2 hours now, and we'll meet again tomorrow for the last live stream, 12 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Thank you for joining me here tonight. Thank you for all of your support, and yeah, you will see me tomorrow. Have a good one.